Hey everybody, how are you today? I've got a lot to cover, so bear with me. I'm going to show you the ins and outs of pinning, and how that can determine break or make the whole thing. So I'm kind of have very strong opinions about pinning as well as pressing, and I'm really cherishing this time that I can have with you to be able to teach this. And I'm pretty proud of the setup John and I have come up with. So I want to talk about Ricky Timms towards the end, but John saved the day yesterday when he was trying to get on live. He's up on this mountaintop, and so he's come up. We're going to try something, and I want to tell it when more people get here, okay, so that the word can get out. So John and I are continuing to hunker down. People are talking about gaining weight. Actually, that's not my issue because I'm on a liquid diet now. Just kidding. We don't have a lot of junk food in the house, so it's not been a problem for us. And we are getting out and walking. And yesterday, when we were going out walking, I said, John, look for teddy bears, okay? And doggone, he just turned around and looked right there, and there were 4 little bears in the window. And I go up on their lawn, and all of a sudden I'm thinking they're going to shoot me because I'm like the creeper with the camera. And we were actually starting to find a lot of them. And then look at this one. This is, you have to look very carefully. It's a bay window, but it's 2 teddy bears, and there's a heart in it, which I think is just lovely, absolutely lovely. And then when we went out walking, we went past these people's house, and this is what they had the kids do. I mean, can it be any sweeter than that? Well, yes, it can, because then we found this. So I love it that people are taking the time to do fun things to uplift those that walk by. I love too that there's like really dopey jokes on the driveways and all that kind of stuff. So I heard this last night. I don't know where, but I loved it, and I went and did it. Is that in support of all our medical people who are our heroes, and the first responders and police, put a red ribbon on a tree or something in the front yard as a subtle way to thank them. I just love that. And if you'd say, well, I don't have red ribbon, go look in your Christmas box. That's where I got mine. And I just tied a bow around it. And, I don't know if anybody's going to see it because it's like left behind on our streets. But nonetheless, we are with you. You guys are our heroes. That is for sure. I want to follow up on a couple things with the seminar I did on Friday on thread and piecing and how to lead in and get the perfect 1/4 inch. Oh, by the way, I've learned that I can't really look at these comments while I'm talking because it really distracts me. But I mean, I do see Margot's there. If you have questions while I'm teaching, put it in the comment, and then when I get done with the section, I can scroll back and then see if there's any questions there that I feel are pertinent to the whole thing. I do want to say that on Friday, when I was doing my thing, the bed of the plexiglass slide on my machine was trashed from tape. And somebody said, go get Goo Gone, which I did. And I want to, there, I did Goo Gone, and it is gone. So, and it was a miracle that I even had this stuff, but I had it, and I had to scrape it a little bit. But thank you, you cleaned the bed of my machine. Thank you. I had tape on it, masking tape from 2 years ago that had just kind of connected. Also, I talked about thread on Friday, and several of you contacted me about polyester thread, that we were taught as quilt makers that you have to use 100% cotton. And one person put it out there just point blank and said, has thread really changed that much in the last 15 years? And the answer is yes. My polyester that is 80 weight is thermally bonded, so it will not shrink. It will not melt with an iron. It's not going to do that stuff. It's going to behave like cotton, only it is super duper thin. Oh, it was Michelle. Gugon, Gugon, you saved the day. Hey, the fact I could put my hands on this in my laundry room was this side short of a miracle. I will tell you right now. I said to John, I think we have this stuff. And he goes, yes, we do. So he started hunting into the garage, which is a scavenger hunt in itself, as I in the laundry room, which is a scavenger hunt in itself. You know how people are like cleaning out their closets and all that? I'm not doing it, you guys. And when I'm gone, the kids just need to throw a match in this place. I'm using the time to create. So I was just talking about heroes a little bit, and a little bit ago. And yes, everybody on the front lines are heroes. But something happened this weekend, and I just want to say that this really, really struck me. And it was when the Roosevelt's captain, Crozier, was walking down the gangplank. That really, really struck me. And honestly, it's the first time I almost cried. I did cry a little bit when I saw how the people on the ship were reacting. And Captain, you are my hero, and you're in the public eye, but there's a lot of heroes that are not in the public eye, okay? But let me finish up with that story about Crozier. My son has two best friends, and how can you have two best friends? Okay, well, because they're twin brothers. And when we moved back to Livermore, Joey was going to be a freshman, and the kids are just, that's such an odd stage, and these two boys came around the corner and sat and played Nintendo on my living room floor with Joey, and a friendship was struck to the point of they were, in each other's weddings and all that. Well, one of those guys is on the Roosevelt. Yep. And he's a top gun. I'm really, really proud of him. When I think about how these guys were in high school, and now that he's 2 years from retirement, I'm so proud of this kid. This man. And actually, I ran into his dad, social distancing. His dad was on one side of the street. I was on the other. We were get out of the house and walk. And he said that they had been contacted by their son a while back, and yes, it was a problem on the ship. And so the captain, he took it for the team, and that's a hero, at least in my opinion. What is a hero? A hero is someone who puts others before themselves. And I will tell you, somebody's calling me. Oh, Cindy from Alden Lane. Yeah, she's my hero now too. But anyways, a hero is someone who puts others before them. It struck me at Trader Joe's. That's where I'm getting our food from. And those people, those grocery clerks on the front line, they have no protection. Yes, they're now working on plexiglass things and all that, but they're my heroes too. And then I have to tell you about a hero, Susan. I don't know her last name. In my mom's house, we're very fortunate. She is about 20 houses from us, and there's 5 wonderful little old ladies and caregivers, and we have been cut out. As soon as our governor said that's it, which was about 2.5 weeks ago, they cut us out, which was kind of a hard pill to swallow. Because I'd love to go and sit and hold my mom's hand. And in fact, she's always hated my stupid iPhone, and now I'm FaceTiming her, and she'll go and touch it. And she did say to me yesterday, she goes, her bangs look terrible. And I went, oh my God, they really do. So this morning I cut them. I think I did a pretty good job. I can see my eyebrows again. And speaking of hair, I feel, boy, the squirrel just ran by. I feel sorry with people with short hair. I mean, I could go like this, and just be all set. But anyways, back to my mom's house. They've been locked down. My mom's in pretty bad shape, healthy as a horse. She always sits on the love seat in the living room, and next to her is Winnie and Winifred. And I love Winnie. I would go sit down and hold both their hands, and they both go, "Ooh, your hands are so cold." And Winnie is actively dying. And her daughter, who is in a medical profession, was retired, can't go see her mom. And so she is FaceTiming her mom and saying everything she needs to say. And Susan, you are my hero for keeping everybody safe in that house. I wondered what I would do if I was put in that position. And now you have just taught me a very important lesson. So I bow to you. Thank you. Okay, let's get on to face masks. Okay, here's John's, all right? Oh my God, it's so funny. I'm sorry, sweetie, but then I have to come, and then here's mine, and I don't think it gets any weirder. Here we go. That's how it's gonna be when I go downtown. Let me tell you a couple tricks that I came up with for your face mask. And yesterday it was kind of funny in the neighborhood because people would say, the people next door were like, okay, I don't have any fabric. Do you have any fabric? Yes, I have fabric. So I got them fabric. Then on the other side, they were going to the grocery store and yeah, here's this. So I turned into the happy little face mask maker. Let me tell you a couple things I did. I learned this from Wendy, who works with us. The straps are the pain in the butt. In fact, I even saw yesterday where somebody was saying, oh, making these bias straps are horrible. Yes, it's horrible. Go get some old ratty t-shirts and cut yourself a strip that is about 1 inch wide. Okay, this is a little bit more. And then look at this when I go like this. What happens? Yep, it turns into a little tube. Look at that. And I started doing them at 2 1/4, and now I'm down to 1 inch. It's fabulous, you guys, and it's not going to fray. So there, we've just solved the elastic crisis. The other thing I'm doing is, where is that? These are ready. I'm making these for my mom's home, and I'm doing the fitted ones like you saw. I'm also lining both sides before I cut into it with, this is called fabric prep, but any sort of mesh or non-mesh, I don't know. Anyways, something that's super, super thin. If you put that inside on both sides of the fabric, that gives you another added bit of protection. I mean, does it completely make you safe? No. And okay, this is good. Someone told me that if you go to the Dollar Tree and get Ace bandages, you can cut them 1/4 inch and use them instead of elastic. I might have that in my house. I'll bet some of you do too. So that's my mask update. All right. Let's talk about, oh, one other thing. Oh, gosh. So when I did the thing on pressing, my little present on pressing the other week, one thing I didn't mention, and I didn't know how important this was when I was a new quilter. I figured if you just got the seams to one side or another, you're okay. No, you always want the seams going in the same direction. This will hurt you in the long run. So if you're new to this craft in sport, be aware that you always want everything going in the right same direction. It's just one of those things. So the first thing I'm going to talk about are pins, okay? I've got more pins than fabric, maybe, I don't know. I'm going to scoot this in. I'm going to get over to this, and I'm going to zoom in. Oh, this is good. No. Now, there's so many different kinds of pins on the market. My favorite are the regular sized glass head super fine silk pins. And I just grabbed these from my pin cushion. Those are really nice pins. And then as I was grabbing more, and I can't really tell you a specific brand, we're working on some with Quilter Select, but honestly, they're the pins that make your stomach turn inside out when they ring it up at the register. This, if I think you can see, yeah, even this pin is much finer than this pin. Now, I don't really care for the extra long pins because this is, in my book, what happens. They just bend, and they get cruddy. So, anyways, who keeps stopping just after greeting? I don't know. Okay, so here we goes that. I steer clear. Again, I've got more pins than anybody. And I know some people love this, so I'm not talking smack about them or anything like that, but I steer clear of the flower head pins because they're long. And then I'm going to show you how to get perfect points together. And this would cause you problems because it would wobble. What you don't want to use, and we've all got them, are the pins that, oh, look at that house. Oh, that's funny. The pins that you pay 50 cents and you get 10,000 pins and you get it at like a big box store or something. The problem with these are that they have plastic heads, which means it could melt on your iron, and also they're fat. And so if you use fat pins, you might as well just go get a nail and use that because it's just going to cause you more problems than ever. And I want to show you my pin cushion. I have a couple here. Here's that. You can see there's a multitude of different pins in it. I can tell you right now, that's one of those fat ones because the yellow head is so big. Oh, good grief. What is this doing in there? I don't know. And then what I do use these big ones for, look at that, ridiculous. These big yellow ones I do use for putting on my design wall stuff. And really, truly, when they bend, just throw them away. They're no good. There's more pins where pins came from. So the first thing I want to talk about are aligning seams. I want to show you how the seams have been pressed to one direction. I'm going to pull out a little bit. This part, I got to tell you, this is making me nervous, okay, people? Because I'm actually going to sew. And so what I do is, and this is for the beginners, you want the seams going in opposite direction, all right? If you're lucky, let me get this turned this way. Okay, wait a minute. If you're lucky, let me get my hand out of the way. It's best when you're doing this that the top seam goes away from you and the bottom seam comes towards you. And the reason is that even if you have an even feed foot, it pushes it into it. It pushes the top into the bottom. So let me take a look here. And I want to get this exactly lined up. All right. Get in here. And I touched on this the other day, and that's when I realized I had to do more on this. I'm going to put a pin in 1/16 of an inch before and 1/16 of an inch after. I'm going to piece a pinwheel, you guys. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to see if it's okay. You could stay stitch it, but I don't think I need to because I'm pretty darn good at this. If you're new, a new quilter, I like to lead in with a cloth. It keeps from getting thread bundles underneath. What's that thread doing there? And what I'm going to do is this. Again, I'm going to follow that line right there that I talked about on Friday. I think it was Friday. It's all blurring together. I'm paying more attention to this than this. Now, I want you to note that when I come up to here, I could sew over it, but Bernina would kill me. But what I do is I do go underneath. I'm going to pull this out and then come back. I do go underneath the fabric where the seam is going to be going. And in that way, I know I'm getting that exactly right. So here I'm going to go like this. I'm going to pull it out. And do I really do that in real life? Probably not. Do as I say, not as I do. And then I'm going to clip this. This is a real good way to save on thread and again, not get those bundles. Thread's expensive, you guys. I mean, it really is. So you want to be conservative with it. And then also, if you have points and stuff, it will make it so they don't get eaten up. Okay, now comes the moment of truth right here. Ta-da! Okay, now we're going to do a pinwheel. Now let me lay this out. I love pinwheels. I love them. Go back. Oh, wait, that's not good. There we go. Let's see. I love half square triangles, I guess you could just say. So here's this. Whoop, that's not right. And then you'll have to trust me with what's going on down here. All right. If I turn this around, they can stack on top of each other, and I can just sew like crazy, all right? Now what you're going to have to do with this is make sure that this part is lined up perfectly. So actually, I'd rather have this all at the top. Okay, you guys, this is tough. Cut me slack here. Okay, there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this out of the way and just get two of them. And the thing is if you get organized properly, you don't even have to think as you pick them up. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my iron for starters. Okay. I'm going to go peekaboo. And I can see that they're lining up. I'm sorry, you guys. There. I'm going to roll it up. Then I'm going to put a pin in again, a 1/16 of an inch before. That's not really in the 1/4 inch area. This gets a little trickery when it's on an angle like this. And then there's another beautiful pin. Okay. I'm going to peek underneath, peek under the dress. Looks pretty darn good to me. And just make sure it's all lined up beautifully. Out. Out. Now I've got to do this one again. Get in there. Get in there. Oh, that's horrible. Look at that, you guys. That's horrible. So, you know, I do talk like a tough sailor. And in real life, well, I don't know. Let's just see. I don't want this. Remember how I talked about lining that up right? I don't like that showing. All these little details, gosh darn it, go into the mix. Let me take a little peeky-poo. No, it's not right. What you have to appreciate, guys, is that I'm working around a camera that's sitting right in front of my view. So be kind, be kind. Okay, cool. All right. You know, speaking of heroes, when I was at Trader Joe's, I thanked the clerk. I said, thank you so much. And she said, yeah, she said, my siblings, one's a fireman and one's a paramedic. And I just went, wow, wow. You got some amazing people in your family. I do use the thread cutter too. Okay. All right, let's see how this one went. This is nerve-wracking. Okay. Thank you. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my ironing surface. I'm not going to switch the camera around because it's just too much trouble. And I'm going to stack up all my pinwheels and I'm going to iron them all in the same direction. So hold on for that. You know, yesterday I chose to not, I chose to go from my day jammies to from my night jammies to my day jammies in hopes that I wouldn't go anywhere or be seen. And then Ricky's session got goofed up because of where he lives. And there I was, smack on camera. I mean, I wouldn't even want John to see me that way. Okay, I'm going to get rid of these bunny ears. Let me tell you my philosophy of bunny ears. Once I know that everything is fitting together properly, then I don't care if I cut them off. But before that, I do care because then I can see if I measured incorrectly or something like that. But these puppies can go now. All right. So, again, if this part isn't right, it will never be right in the middle of your pinwheel. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do my 3-pin session, my 3-pinning thing. And I want to talk a little bit about this presser foot. What I like about this presser foot, it's the Bernina 37, is that it's open all the way in like that. Some machines, it kind of closes up and then it goes open. And the pinning I'm going to show you would not be possible if this part were really close together. So I use 3 pins. And now the seams are in opposite directions, as you can see. Okay, I'm going to take my first pin and I'm going to come in. Okay, now I think I have to zoom in a little bit. This is the pin I would never use a flower head pin for, ever, okay? Because it would wobble. Look, that's bent. Bye-bye. I go through pins a lot, you guys. So I'm going to see how you have the X there, right? I'm going to go in the back right at that X, all right? Then I'm going to turn it around and make sure it's coming through right at that point. Sometimes it will lie to you. And so what's most important is you want it coming through the right point here, no matter where it is coming in from the back. But boy, I must have been a good girl or something because this is coming out. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pin and I'm going to go straight into the other side, straight down. And then I'm going to squish it together. See, if you had the flower pin, it would be rolling all over. I'm going to squish it together and I'm going to drop a pin in, what? A 1/16 of an inch before and a 1/16 of an inch after. So I've got 3 pins going on here. Then before I go to my machine, I'm going to just let this hang there. Before I go to my machine, I'm going to open it up and at least make sure that the line is going straight across, at least. All right. Then the other thing is you want to make sure that like all the way down the pike here, it's lined up. You don't want it like offset like this or something like that. It's that whole lining up thing that Sally is so big on. All right, so here we go. So if I'm doing like a whole row and there's points and junk, there's these pins just hanging every which way, which explains why my bed is so scratched up. So here we come. I'm going to grab this pin very carefully. And yeah, it's eking out a little bit there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going very, very, very slowly. And you can see how the needle is going a little bit more. Boy, this technology is something else. Okay. One more. One more. All right, and then it went right into the hole and I pulled it out. Take it on down to the end. And now you really say a prayer about this stuff. Oh, I'll use the thread cutter this round. Why not? It's so funny. I didn't know if I would love that or not. I love it. Cut this off. Let me back out a little bit. Okay. Okay, the anticipation. The anticipation. I'll take it. I'll take that any day. Yay! Okay, one last little trick is, let me see. shoot, you can't really see. Where's the seam ripper? Oops, a pointer thing. I like to twirl the seams. So what you've got going on here is you've got a thread going across this way and a thread coming down this way. The one that's leading off the edge, I'm going to break. Just get rid of it. And then you twirl the seams. Let me back it out a little bit. I broke it. I put it down. And then when I go to press, I've got this adorable little baby pinwheel in the middle. And you don't have all the bulk on one side. So I love that trick. There's just something so soothing about that. Little pinwheel, I love you. She cooperated. So, okay, Sue Rat. Okay, now what I want to do is figure out how to shrink this. Well, wait, first I got to get back to my face. I can't believe it. I did it in 30 minutes, but let me see if there's some questions. Okay, just called everyone on your line. Okay, how expensive pins she sewed over one time was a few years back. Oh yeah, I have. Let me tell you what happened. I had a 1230, okay? Bernina, 1230, it's right, 30 years old, and it lived to tell the story, but I was just sewing, and I was pinning, and I was full speed, and the needle went down into the pin, and it broke the machine. I mean, I took it to my local person. They couldn't fix it. That machine, which has my heart, if you have a 1230, you know what I'm talking about, had to be shipped back to Chicago, and the Swiss guys fixed it. So they aren't kidding when they talk about it. I try not to sew over seams in a perfect world. But that said, there's one other thing I want to show you that's kind of really cool. I learned about this at a market, and you are probably familiar with Shelley and Bernie Tobish's Acorn products. If not, let me just show you this. Okay, so what it is one of the products they have is this glue which alleviates the pinning, okay? I think when I'm doing points, I would not use this, but like, let's say I'm just wanting to get this to this. I gotta pull out more again. Wow, I'm so impressed with my technical skills. Okay, so here's this to this, okay? So what it is, it's a clear little glue, and you just go dot, 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 dot. My daughter knows better than to be calling me. And then you line up the seams like this. Again, you make sure it is exactly where you want it. I like the little peeky method. There, get it exactly where you want it. And then I'm going to take it over to my iron, and I'm going to press it dry. This stuff is called Acorn Precision Piecing Product. We actually sell them in the TQS store. I think we have them in stock. And then it's glued together. And then you can sew, and you have no seams. I mean, no pins. Now, what if you don't like how it's lined up? So let's say I didn't like it on this side. Just pull it apart and do it again. So that again, oh, sorry guys. That again is Acorn Precision Piecing Products by Bernie and Shelley. So let me go back to here. Let me get rid of this, and let's do some questions. Do you still arrive from Kansas? Oh, wow, here's something wrong. Please note that the wire used in the fused twisted ties usually... Oh, this is stuff on here on what to do with the masks. Wow, I've got other languages here. This is awesome. This is super. Oh, then Deb Silva, she helps run my retreat. She sets up an ironing station in the other room, so she has to get up and exercise. I like that a lot. Um, what happened to, oh, Karen. Oh, Karen, she's my friend that's a really good quilter. What happened to putting the pin through the seams and lining them up that way? It will shift the seams. It doesn't work. Try it next time you're quilting, right, Karen? Okay. Actually, Karen doesn't quilt at all. She's my best friend. How can that even be? Oh my gosh. Um, so, yes, Robin, this is a 37D foot. If you have one of the higher end Berninas and it has a D on it, you must engage the dual feed. If you don't, it's going to be um, it's going to be horrible. So, okay. Yeah, okay. So Lisa said she tried to use the flathead quilting pins yesterday. They just kept bending. I think it has to do with the length of them, you guys. So let me go down here. Um, is your online store open? Yeah, we're open. Suzanne, it will not ship out today, but it will ship out in a couple days. Suzanne is there, another hero. She's there holding down the fort all by herself, and I actually made her some masks yesterday so that she could have them there too, although Alden Lane is shut down. So, all right, let me also I want to say Bernie and Shelly Tobish, who designed this, has did a really great show on TQS. It's 2506. Shelly and Bernie Tobish. There's so many tips in that. And then Bernie also does a whole thing on sewing machines. I learned a whole lot. And with that, if you're not a member, subscribing so you can see the shows, we got a quarantine deal that's $19.95 for 6 months. I would really take advantage of this. There's so much information there. It's absolutely cray cray. Do Acorn products work on other than cotton? I don't know. I haven't tried it. Sometimes they're in this talk, and so if they are, they'll answer that. Okay, back to Ricky. So yesterday, like I mentioned, he's way up high. I don't even know the elevation, but he having internet is not good, and how we have this set up, how I can switch back and forth and all that is causing more problems. So what he is going to do is he's not going to do tomorrow, okay? He's going to do Thursday, and he's going to go down to La Vida, and he's going to teach you dancing squares. He says it's super fun, it's super easy, and he will do that on Thursday at 1 o'clock his time, 12 o'clock, which is Mountain Time, 12 o'clock Pacific Time, and so forth. So it's Thursday. Then on Saturday, he is going to reveal the Lizzie Albright quilt. And I'm very excited about that, and fabric that he designed. I mean, who doesn't want, we can go fabric shopping and not even leave our home. And he's also going to bring Kat in, who is the co-author of this whole thing, Lizzie Albright. Let's hope technologically they can figure this out. But I'm really excited for the Saturday reveal, and that will be being done in La Vida also. So for my rest of the day, I'm going to make more masks for my mom's house. I also have the pleasure, I will be Skyping with Sue O'Very and Lorraine Turner, and we will be delivering these to you in your newsletter. I think it's really fun to see where people are working and what they're doing. And then, yay. So I will see you Wednesday. Again, I have no idea what I'm going to be teaching. It's always a mystery with me. I told somebody I would grow up and make a list, and I just haven't grown up yet, nor have I cleaned my closet, and I will stick to that. And you guys, thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me today. Go sew. That's what you need to do.